What it do, YouTube, man? Profitable Paul. I'm back in the flesh over video. It's 2026, man. It's been 6 months since I uploaded my last video. As you can see, Road to Funded Trading Recap 623 to 627, man. In these 6 months, we definitely have been doing a lot of stuff in the background just to improve just the mentality, the psychology, even the system around what we've been doing with trading, man. So as you know, if you watched that video 6 months ago, I told you a little bit about my journey. This year I'll be going into my 6th year of trading, right? 2020, May of 2020 is when I started trading with IM Academy. Did that off and on. 2023 I got a little more serious with it. And then eventually 2025 is where I said, okay, I'm gonna lock in, right? So around August, September 2025, after like failing, I'm gonna say like 8 to 9 challenges, and being kind of close. Like I will fight out of a drawdown, and then I get it back up, and then I'll just like feel like I was too. I would go back and draw down. I feel like I was too, too down to even try to come back from it. After that, cycle of boom and bust, as you would call it, man, I was like, bro, I need to get a mentor. And I was already following Doyle, and he has a great strategy, but it was like, bro, I'm missing something, right? I think it was the discretion that you need in the markets that I wasn't really picking up on supply and demand. So I sought me out a new mentor. Shout out to James Strong, man. Got connected with him, and from September to about November, worked with him, refined my strategy. He showed me, how he does the markets, and man, I've been following that. And I'm just here to show you an update of where I've been, what I've been doing, and kind of the lessons I've learned. And maybe I can break this down to another video. But what I can say, man, from working with James, bro, it was like two to three things that I really understood that I was like, okay, this is what I'm missing from what I'm currently doing. The biggest being you gotta have the numbers. You gotta have the numbers in terms of what you're doing with trading, right? And I mean this goes to anything. Like I'm really big into fitness, into the gym. And when it comes to people trying to lose or gain weight, bulk up, slim down, you got to understand the macros, the numbers that go into it. Same thing with trading, man. When you come into a setup, you need to understand, okay, my system has a 60 to 70% win rate at this specific time, right? Uh, that's one of the things that I didn't have, bro. Because when I jumped into trading and I found Doyle, I was like, I know he's profitable. I can just basically tell his trades and take the same trades as him. And that's cool in the beginning, but when it comes to being able to fish on your own, which is what Doyle preaches from the beginning, like he doesn't want you just taking his trades, he wants you to be able to fish. But it becomes a thing where okay, you're trying to fish, but you don't even know what tool to use, when the conditions are good to even go fishing, right? And that's one thing that I really understood when I was working with James. I was like, okay, I don't have any numbers. I don't have any solid data that I can stand on and say I'm confident in what I'm doing. So that was the first thing. So that led me into like, really getting into back testing. I'm gonna show you kind of what he showed me and how to set it up. That zooming out, and the second one is zooming out on a larger time frame, bro. The supply and demand setups that I was taking with Doyle were based off of, 5 minute, 15 minute. And of course we would zoom out and look at the daily, the hour, but it's kind of what's happening in that 5 minute zone, right? We're paying attention to the higher time frame, but not putting so much emphasis on it. And that's good for the quick scalps and things like that. But when you look talking about extra confluences and moving with the market, going with the flow as they like to say, you definitely do need to bring that into your system. So that was another thing that I was like, okay, I need to work on. And then I would say, like I said, back testing. I wasn't back testing. Like in the way James puts it, man, like, when you go to the gym, your trainer shouldn't be putting you through a IFBB Pro, type level workout because you can't handle the weight, right? You couldn't handle the weight of, a large trade size if you haven't been putting in the reps, if you haven't been back testing. Trading is a skill, right? With any skill, you got to put in reps. You got to put your time in. You got to put your due diligence in to make sure you're able to perform out there in real life. And I didn't have that. I would back test maybe once every blue moon, man. And that's one of the biggest things, like over these last couple months, especially after finishing up with James, like in November, December, early January. We're on the 17th right now. Man, just trying to put in consistent amount of time, and I'm nowhere as consistent as I need to be. I feel like right now I should probably be doing an hour a day. I may be getting in like 3 to 4 hours a week, primarily on the weekends when I'm doing my back testing, because I'm still trying to gather my data, understand when the best times are. But yeah, man, understanding the numbers, zooming out, and back testing. Those are the three things that I feel like I was missing that James really highlighted and worked with me on. And so I'm gonna show you kind of what I've been working on and kind of some of the results. Right, we're gonna get into it because I have been trading. Right, going into 2026, I've been trading, man, and I'm actually seeing a lot of not a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot. I've been seeing some progress, bro. Some things I still need to refine, but man. So this free sauce right here, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. But this is my back test. So I've back tested over 154 setups, and I'm not even done yet. I'm really slacking, and I gotta redo this data. But what you're looking at here, I back tested from August to November, this 2025, from August to November, all these different pairs right here. You got the Russell, SPX, NQ, US 30. These are the four assets that I'm focusing on, and I'm back testing and breaking it down. And I have a system that I'm using. I'm probably not gonna give y'all that. Um, you can reach out to James. He's a great mentor. He'll break it down for you. But what I'm doing is, man, look, I'm marking how much time I'll spend on these charts. Because right now, for me, it's one of those things where I need to understand. Hey, I'm putting hours into this, right? And I'm really trying to focus on the skill set. But it's one of those mental things. I'm like, okay, man, I could put in an hour a day, and it's gonna compound. Cause I know how that type of stuff works. But you got the asset here, the date that the trade was entered in on, the time entered, the number of entries, right? Still using the same principles of supply and demand. You enter a zone. If it breaks the zone, it's null and void. Don't take it. Break a candle, take it, and then just measuring to see, how far with the risk reward. Now, another thing that I learned, man, I was going for 1 to 1, and that works. It works for some people, but I've used systems before where I have a higher risk reward, and I know it works, so I'm going back to that. I'm going to 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 1.5. But lately, I've been doing 1 to 2 in my funded challenges, and it's been working well for me. And then also understanding the amount of time that you was in the trade. That was a thing that I did notice with Doyle. Like, if we were in a trade more than 20 minutes, 25 minutes, it was probably gonna be a loser, bro. Just to be, straight up. So understand, okay, these trades take on average about 15 to 20 minutes. If I'm sitting in there, I'm like, but then also not being afraid to let your trade go into drawdown. That's one of the biggest things because you're gonna throw off your data, and this is the biggest thing, right? Is you understanding when you got this type of level of information, you seeing, okay, in August I was up 6R, September I was up 3R, October I was up 1R, right? Every month not gonna be a crazy month, but over time it's gonna compound, and so that's what I've been working on, thinking of some things that I can incorporate into my own, like making this my own system. I've got some ideas that I'm gonna, probably eventually implement. But right now, man, I'm just trying to focus on executing what James has taught me and then, running from there, man. So yeah, bro, did that. And so we can talk about what it is that I've been doing on these charts, man. On these charts. So yeah, here we are. So I opened up this account January 5th. 2026, 11 days on the account, and we up 2 green days. Now, with the system I'm using now, man, is very mechanical, bro. It has to be certain parameters that happen for me to execute on the trade. It's taking a lot of the guesswork out of it. Eventually, as I get more familiar with the system, I'm gonna be able to apply more discretion with it. But from the two setups that I took, we're up $1,600. Target profit 3,000. So I am about 54% away from the goal. I'm I'm gonna pass this account. I'm feeling very confident in it. One thing I will say, and we'll break it down like the two trades that I took, man. Just being consistent in terms of risk management, bro. Because any little thing is gonna throw off your profitability, right? That 1 to 2 is so important, but then also the amount of money you're risking. When you change any of those parameters, man, it's gonna throw off the data, bro. So you gotta understand that. That's one thing that I'm, dealing with and understanding. Like, hey, man, I not that I could have been profitable more sooner because everybody has their own journey, but it's a process. You got to respect the process, man. So yeah, so on the 7th, which was Wednesday of last week, I took a trade. I risked like around 250 and 465 in profit. Of course, they're gonna take the fees and everything like that. And this one on the 16th, 1,100. I did over leverage. I'm gonna tell y'all why in a second, man. But let's break down these trades real quick that we took. So going in on it, man. Going in on it. Another thing that I've picked up on, bro. When I was, trading with Dual, man, we get on the charts around like 7:30, and we on to about 9:30. So that's 2 hours. Attention span cooked, bro. I ain't gonna, attention span is cooked. I was not paying attention for 2 hours straight. I'm on my phone. I gotta play some music in the background, and sometimes he would, live trade, especially like towards the end of the year. Like he was live trading like 2, 3 times a week, and it's good commentary to have going on. But bro, like I'm working, bro. Like I got my work laptop here. I'm doing that, man. It's one of those things where you gotta find a system that works for you. And right now, I've been using these triggers, right? So I come to the charts, I mark up my zones, and even this I ain't gonna hold you. Need to be fixed. I come to the charts, I mark up my zones. I set alert triggers. I get an email. I get the little ding, the cash register sound on my trading view, and man, I that's when I've triggered in. I'm like, okay, let me take a look at my chart, see what's going on. Is this a good entry? And this is exactly what happened. So this was on Friday. This is my trade that I made 1.1 on, and I am still trading the personal as well. I made $77 on the personal with this. We're gonna work to get that up. But boom, triggered in, didn't break candle right here. We entered right here. So let me tell you the story of how I ended up making 1.1K on this. Bro, I go to enter this trade. Mind you, this is my second trade I'm taking on this account. And I hit the create limit order. Bro, why in the world, I probably can't do it now because the market closed. Why in the world did they change, the trading view change how you enter the amount of units that you risk? So I'm fumbling around for a good 2 minutes trying to get that going, and bro, price is just dropping. Bro, I basically missed the entry now, and I ain't gonna lie, I FOMO'd in because I'm like, bro, this is a legit trade. This is the first trade I've seen of the week where I was like, okay, let me enter, and so FOMO did get to me, man. So I did. I was going fast. I entered more risk than I would have a light because right now I'm really just trying to focus on base hits, 250 risk, 500 reward, and I ended up risking probably about 500, which if I would have lost, I would have been back at basically break even, zero profit on the account, which wouldn't have been bad. But for me right now, it's that consistency. So this was not good execution on my part. So boom, I kind of get in around here, but I still left my profit target at 1 to 2 from original break a candle because I'm like, I'm not gonna try to stress it and be like, yo, I didn't get my 1 to 2 from where I initially entered because I had already executed poorly. Let me get my original 1 to 2. So I did that, a little bit of drawdown up here, man, and then it hit it, bro. Knocked it out the park. And then on the other side of that, I was fumbling around with this, and then on my personal account, I risked more than I should have, bro. Uh, so I didn't even get the 1 to 1 on my personal. I think I had the four uh micro contracts going at that time, and yeah, I was seeing a lot of money, and I was like, yo, let me just take this right now because I was up 10% on that account, and just understanding like math, like yo, bro, when are you getting 10% on something? So just putting that perspective, I closed before it even hit my 1 to 1 because I wasn't mentally prepared to see the reverse of that. Because if I saw a 10% loss on my account on my personal, mentally I'm not prepared for that. So just understand that, man. So boom, got that 1 to 2. There we go. So this was a trade on Friday, and then we're gonna go to RTY, go back some time. So on Tuesday of last week, which I believe is Tuesday 13. Here we go. And y'all getting a little glimpses like what we working on, man. It's not groundbreaking the strategy. It really makes sense when you think about it, but there is some nuance to it, man. So we're gonna go back in time. Wednesday the 7th. Here we go. So perfect. Had to tap into the zone. Entered. Okay, tap right here. Tap right there. Trying to see. Probably entered in right around here, and then 1 to 2 smackers. All right. Like I said, bro, I'm going strictly 1 to 2, man. Get in, get out. As you can see, man. And this is and this is before 8:30. I'm getting on the charts at 7 a.m. I'm marking up, and that's another thing. I haven't been consistent waking up at 7 a.m., bro. I be up late. So I wake up about 7:25, 7:30. Hurry up, get on the chart. So that's already something bad I gotta work on. But I'm in the market from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I see a setup. Boom. If it taps, does it what it needs to do? I'm entering, and we going 1 to 2. Now I will say this is another thing, man. The system works, and it shows up more than just 2 times in 2 weeks. These are the only ones that I was able to catch. Mind you, I'm still working a job. I still got to go in office, things like that. So that does hinder me sometimes when it comes to these different trades. For example, on the sixth, I think it was like NQ or something like that. Yeah, NQ on the sixth. We'll just show you this real quick. Banger on NQ on the sixth. Absolute banger. So you might have took a loss the first one. So let's say you're risking 250. Boom, you lose 250 on that. The next candle, you get a break of candle on, you hit that 1 or 2 and more. We're not gonna play that game, but 1 to 5 risk reward if you're really greedy. But we keep it 1 or 2, man. So I think in that first week I had about 4 setups in there. Here's another one, but this happened at 8:15, so we don't count that. But within my time zone of trading, there was 4 setups in the first week. I only took one of them. So be it, man. We not getting FOMO. We not doing that. But yeah, like man, that's what I've been up to, bro. We just gonna stay consistent. We're gonna pass this. We're gonna get some payouts this year, man. 2026 gonna be a big year for me, bro. I already know it. I can feel it. And going into this 6 years into it, bro. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say. When it comes to trading, man, it's one of those things, bro. When you tell people about it, they're like, "Oh, okay, uh huh." And when you tell them like, "Are you?" When they ask you, "Are you profitable?" and you say, "No, not yet," bro. Bro, I can feel it. And I've heard this for so many people. They be like, "Bro, like, why are you still doing it, bro? 6 years and you ain't seen no crazy money." It's like, you're right. I haven't, but I know it's possible. And I like to think of it like this, man. How many people go to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, and they go out, they get a job where they, not that they think they're gonna make crazy amount of money, but you put that same amount of time into something else, you feel me? So you can make X amount of money when you put your time in that trading, the amount of money you can make is infinite, bro. It's literally infinite. It's up to you. You set the limits and limitations on what you can achieve in this market, man. So the time is worth it, man, but you got to make sure you using that time with intention, bro. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, man. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna make some more videos this year, man. I get over the procrastination of, I gotta make it perfect. We're gonna get a new PC. We're gonna get some better camera equipment. We're gonna get some lighting in here, bro. We're gonna turn this thing legit, man. Um, but yeah, that's Paul the Profitable signing out, man. Y'all have a great 2026, man. We got to get to this bread, bro. Peace.